What's up, Porch Nation? Welcome back to Porch Nation headquarters here in Worcester, Massachusetts, the birthplace of the color yellow. Most people don't know that. It was week 3 here in the Greatest League, and we had one of our more competitive weeks that I can recall in recent history. For that reason, and because we see our win-loss zeros dwindling, we'll call this week the Slim Down. Week 3 offered our first look at North versus West and East versus South for the 2024 campaign, and if this one is any indication of how the full series will go, we're in for a great group of games. Also, in light of last week's record-setting runtime, I'll try to get through this one as quick as I can. It's a Slim Down speed round, Week 3, 8 games, let's get into it. Alright folks, week 3 is here and we had a doozy. More than half of our games came down to 7 points or less. Before we get into those game recaps, here's how the Slim Down speed round works. I'm going to start from our largest margin of victory and work our way down to the smallest margin of victory. For every 1/10 of a point in the differential, I say one word about the matchup. For every whole point, we advance that to 0.2 points per word, and so on in my favor. Listen, there's a formula, but the short version is this. The smaller the distance in the scores, the fewer words I can say about that matchup. And in the case of our first recap here, our largest margin of victory, I might have to say a few more words than I might have originally intended. Anyway, let's see how it goes. The first good news is that our first game is a special one. Bring on the parade, the 100-year-old traditions, mascots, and a trophy specifically named for the game. It's the Josh Bowl 2024. By the way, in the first draft of this script that I wrote, I did the math wrong on the formula. I was up to 271 words on this first recap before I realized the formula was flawed and redid it. This one is 158.5 words. Anyway, start that word tracker now. Here we go. Josh Bowl 2024. The Josh Bowl is a storied and highly lauded interdivisional series dating all the way back to Week 9 of 2010-15 seasons ago. Josh Marshall owns the lopsided win differential of 10-4 in their all-time head-to-heads, but it didn't start with a bang. Marshall won their first ever head-to-head by just over half a point. The following season, we were treated to our first ever double Josh Bowl season with a Week 3 face-off and 5th place playoff game. Steinberg would take his first Josh Bowl trophy home when they faced off in the consolation bracket in 2014 and again in 2015, and his first regular season wins in 18 and 19. This year's Josh Bowl was our most lopsided game so far in their 15-year head-to-head series. Steiny demotes his opponent to Deputy Marshall in this one, winning by 88.55. 158 and a half whoa. Now we have me versus Steve. Start the tracker. Steve's season has started off strong this year, and I had a good-looking week 1, but consistency has been a struggle to find in subsequent weeks. Tight end points almost seem like a thing of the past, though Steve was able to find some in the form of the 3rd highest scoring tight end this week. Additionally, Steve saw great contributions all up and down the card. Steve and I first faced off back in Week 6 of 2011. Over the next 14 seasons, we've only faced off 9 more times, including 1 consolation game, and I currently own the lead of 7 wins to Steve's 4. Next, we explore Ethan Ripp versus James Burr. Go! Alright, Ethan versus Berg. Here are some similarities I notice. Both teams came in at 1-1. Both managers started the quarterbacks from their favorite teams. Both managers' first names have 5 letters? Sure. Both managers started a wide receiver from Houston. Okay, halfway there. Ooh, that was 3 more. Oh, I probably shouldn't just talk the whole time about word count. There's more to say about the game, and now I see my count is running low. James Berger wins. Up next, we have D versus Alex. And go. Okay, no word count stuff this time, just pure recap. No getting mesmerized by the digital meter on my teleprompter ticking ever upward like a slot machine in a flashy, trashy casino in some back room in Reno. You want to stop, but the lights and smells and buzzing in the air and your head keep you pumping quarters. And Alex wins the game. Anywho, who? Pete versus Adam. That's who. Go. Pete and Adam was a close projected game, and close we got. Both teams came in at 1-1 and trying to keep up in a division with undefeated teams in them. Both had a handful of big contributors up and down their rosters, but ultimately Adams slightly did bet. The windows are getting tighter and the words are getting fewer. Ross versus Joe, and go. Ross needs first win. Joe wants second win in a row. Joe has Jonathan Taylor. Ross raises him a Derrick Henry. Ross adds enough wide receiver points to counter Pat Mahomes. Ross gets his first win this season.
Me mechanic not speak English, but he know what me mean when me say car no go, and we best friends. So me think, why waste time, say lot word when few word do trick?
Jeff versus Andy. Okay. Yeah, let's see. Okay, go. 2 undefeated teams, Jeff and Andy. A close projection down to the wire. Jeff overcomes 2 zeros to stay undefeated again. And finally, the game of the week. A difference of 0.67 points. So 6.7 words, 6 or 7 words. We'll go with 6 for the challenge. And go. Dylan versus Skinner. Root for tie. Hold on, I can do better. Dylan versus Skinner. Double loss, please. No, wait. Dylan versus Skinner. Take my eyes. Dylan versus Skinner. The Villain Bowl. DVS. Lower approval rating than 2020. No matter winner, we all lose. Let me know what 6 words you come up with. And that'll do it for week 3 and the slim down speed round. How'd I do on time compared to last week? As we leave week 3 in the past, we're left with just 2 zeros in the collective win column and 2 zeros in the loss column. Josh Steinberg continues to see fortune shine down on him in the form of the lowest points against. Only he and Andy have faced fewer than 300 cumulative points, and Andy is only 3/4 of a point away from hitting that 300 mark. Though, don't get it twisted, Josh Steinberg also is putting up our highest total score so far in the season through 3 games as well. Jeff survived an undefeated challenge, and now Andy has a chance to tie things up with Josh Steinberg in their Week 5 head-to-head. We have some great matchups on tap for Week 4, including undefeated Jeff versus our defending champion Berg, who's now at 2-1. I can't wait to see how all that shakes out. So until next week, keep thriving, Porch Nation.
Bloop.